Wow, I'm really serving like 90s looks today.
Hey guys, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be recommending you guys some books that you could read for Asian and Pacific American Heritage Month, which is this month in May. And I am actually participating in a readathon that's being hosted by Cindy over at Cindy Reads, and it's called the Asian Readathon. I'll link her video down below, but I will be talking about the books I'll be reading for that readathon in my May TBR. I don't know if I'm going to be posting this video first or my May TBR, but it's coming. So yeah, let's get right into it. So before I get into the recommendations, I wanted to talk a little bit about my Asian heritage and kind of like what this month means to me. So a lot of people aren't aware that I am a quarter Chinese, and my grandfather was actually an immigrant, and he immigrated to the United States from China when he was 18 years old, and that's a part of my history that I have always been kind of detached from because that's my mom's side of the family, and my mom left when I was younger, so I haven't really felt connected to that part of my history and like my culture. There's certain things that we did retain in terms of culture in our household, but there's many things that I didn't get to know about, and so many things that I still don't know about Asian history and Chinese heritage specifically, and it's always something that I'm eager to learn more about. I've always been really hesitant to tell people that I'm a quarter Chinese because usually nothing good comes out of it, and I have experienced a lot of prejudice because of that. And in high school, my so-called friends, who I'm no longer friends with, would walk past me and say things like, smells like fried rice over here. Oh, hey, soy sauce, what's up? Or things like that, and they would say, oh, you're really good at nails, I wish I had the Asian advantage. Or people would try to get my homework from me because I am a quarter Asian, and only based on that, not that I was actually like really that good at math. So it's really just something that I have always like struggled to accept about myself, but I feel like if I just say, oh yeah, I'm just like 100% white, I feel like I'm discounting what my grandfather went through to come to this country and everything that he's built here. So I just feel like it's something that I should accept about myself, and it's something I should talk about, even if it's something that I am not super educated on. Because I'm a quarter Chinese, I have always felt very passionate and even sometimes defensive about marginalized groups and about POC identity and how it is represented in today's world in media and books. And I'm always really eager to get my hands on media that is being produced by people of color, and I feel like as someone who is white representing, I feel like it's my responsibility to learn about other marginalized groups, and I recognize that I have privilege, and it's something that has been like a personal journey for me, and I'm still on a journey of accepting the fact that I am more than one race, and it's something that I really want to learn more about. So I think that whether or not you have Asian heritage, you should definitely take this month of May to recognize Asian and Pacific American authors or filmmakers, anything like that. And I just think you should really take the time to educate yourself on what other groups have been through and their struggles and their stories. And I think we should definitely use our platforms to elevate those stories because they have always been on the back burner. So I think it's time to bring them to the forefront. I am going to be recommending you some books that have Asian characters or they're by Asian authors, and these are all books that I absolutely loved and I highly recommend and I stand by. So if you guys have anything to add to the video, like if you want to add a comment about one of these books or you want to recommend some of your own books down below, definitely do that. I would definitely love to check that out. So let's get straight into the video. So I'm actually going to be leaving my ratings for these books out of this video because I just want you guys to read these books no matter what my opinion was, because these are the kind of stories that need to be spoken about and elevated. So I'm not going to be including my review, but all I can say is read all of these books. They were all fantastic and they all had great qualities. And some of them, yeah, I liked more than others, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be talked about. So the first book I have to recommend is Frankly in Love by David Yoon, and this one is a YA contemporary, and it features a Korean American main character, and I believe the author himself is also Korean American, so I believe this is Own Voices rep. And this one is about a teenage boy named Frank Lee, who, like I said, is Korean American. He's struggling a lot to accept his identity, and I kind of related to that. And basically this is about Frank Lee's relationships because his parents only want him to date a Korean American girl, but he falls in love with a white girl. And he also meets another Korean American girl who he's known since I think he was a kid, and basically they both want to date their respective non-Korean American boyfriend slash girlfriend, and so they fake date to please their parents, and when they say they're going on a date with each other, they're actually going on a date with their respective boyfriend and girlfriend. So I really enjoyed this book. It is not only a really funny romance coming of age story about a boy who's struggling with his identity, but it also explores racism, and it talks about that a lot. And I honestly didn't expect that from this, because in YA contemporaries you don't really get a whole lot of in-depth discussions about racism and privilege, so I thought this book was really good for doing that. So I highly recommend this one. It's absolutely fantastic, and the book is just, it's beautiful, so definitely check this one out. I hear you. Do you want to come in and say hi to the video? The next book I have to recommend is actually a graphic novel series, and I've talked about the series so much on my channel. I've been reading a volume a month since December of last year, and I've been absolutely loving it, and that is the Amulet series by Kazuki Buishi, who is a Japanese-American author, and I am so obsessed with this series. I love it so much. It is middle grade, so it's super easy to get into, and there's so many different characters and different relationships in this book, and there's a prophecy, and it's just got a really lush fantasy world, and I absolutely love the art in this book. It's just so beautiful and fantastic, and I absolutely love this graphic novel series. So if you're looking for something really fun, bingeable, and just really escapist, and also by an Asian author, then I highly recommend Amulet by Kazuki Buishi. It is absolutely fantastic. I've given every volume 5 stars, so definitely check the series out. I actually have a couple of South Asian recommendations in this video as well, and the first one I have is Amal Unbound by Ayesha Saeed, and this one is a middle grade book that features a Pakistani character who's living in Pakistan, and I believe the author might also be Pakistani. I'm not 100% sure, but she is an author of color. So I absolutely love this book. This one is a middle grade that follows our main character Amal, and she says the wrong thing to the wrong person one day, and she ends up being forced into indentured servitude, and she's working without pay for a very corrupt family in Pakistan. So this book is definitely a little bit on the heavier side because it deals with indentured servitude, but I feel like it's something critical to learn about in South Asian history. So I definitely think you should pick this one up, and like I said, it's a middle grade, so it's put into a very palatable format. So I also really liked the audiobook for this one. It's short just like the book, and it's actually really well narrated, so I highly recommend this one. It's absolutely fantastic, but definitely make sure you're in the right headspace to read it because it's really harrowing, honestly. So yeah, absolutely love this one. Definitely check it out. So the next book I have to recommend is Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi, and this one is a YA contemporary, kind of a romance, and it follows our two main characters, Penny and Sam. And I think in this book, Penny is starting her first year of college, and she ends up meeting Sam at a coffee shop, and they end up striking up a romance. And I really like this book because Mary H.K. Choi writes such realistic characters. I don't think I've ever read a book where teenagers are depicted so well and so accurately, and a lot of people say they don't like this book because of how Mary H.K. Choi depicts her characters. They're kind of unlikable, but I think they're very relatable at the same time, and definitely nobody's perfect. So I just love her writing, and I think that she definitely puts people under a lens. So I read this book this year. I absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to read her next book, which is Permanent Record. I haven't read that one yet, but this one I think is an absolutely fantastic debut, and you should definitely check out Mary H.K. Choi. And her main character, Penny, is Korean American, and I think Mary H.K. Choi might be as well. I'm not 100% sure. If you know for sure, comment down below. I'd love to know. But yeah, this one is super fantastic, and I highly recommend this one. So the next book I have to recommend is American Panda by Gloria Chow, and this one is another YA contemporary, and this follows our main character May, and she is Taiwanese American, and she's kind of under her mother's thumb in this book, and her mom really wants her to become a doctor. May has not found the heart to tell her that she faints at the sight of blood, she hates gore, and she can't even imagine sticking a needle in someone's arm, and she really just wants to do dance because it's something that she's always loved, and she also incorporates her Taiwanese culture into her dances, and I just absolutely love that aspect of this book. So this book focuses heavily on family and paving your own path and breaking free of your parents' expectations. And this book, like Frankly in Love, they're very similar in that they both have parents who are racist and they talk openly to their parents about racism and what that means. And our main character, I believe, gets into a romance with a Japanese American boy, and so that's kind of frowned upon by her parents. So race is discussed a lot in that situation. So I highly recommend this book. I really want to reread it soon because I really enjoyed it, and I think this was a really great blend of culture, romance, coming of age, everything like that. So definitely check this one out. It's fantastic. So the next book I have to recommend is definitely going to be on my favorites of 2020 list. I absolutely love this book, and that is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. And if I'm not mistaken, Marie Lu is Chinese American, so definitely read any of her books and support her. And I think regardless of whether a book by an Asian author has an Asian character or not, you should definitely still support their work. And this one is about, it's basically kind of like a reimagining of Mozart and his sister Nannerl's life. So this one is just absolutely fantastic. I feel like if you want to see like my in-depth thoughts about this book, check out my April wrap-up down below because I pour my heart out about this book and it's just absolutely fantastic. So if you love fantasy, if you love retellings of sorts, if you love real bits of history inside of a fantasy story, and if you love fairy tales like Peter Pan or Alice in Wonderland, then definitely check this one out. And also if you love music in general, because this one was just absolutely fantastic. So I have two more South Asian book recommendations, and they're actually both by the same author. And the first one I have is When Dimple Met Rishi and There's Something About Sweetie by Sandhya Menon. And she always features Indian characters in her books, and I believe Sandhya Menon herself is Indian as well. So you're supporting a great author, and I absolutely love her stuff. It is so fantastic. She writes a lot of YA contemporary romances, and I'm just here for it. She actually just branched out, and she just wrote a fantasy retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but it's like contemporary at the same time, and I can't wait to read that one. And she's also actually writing, I believe, her first adult novel, so I'm so excited about that. I absolutely love her stuff. Her stuff just makes me feel so warm and fuzzy, and I love it. And her books are a really great balance of culture and romance and just hilarity, and I just absolutely love her books. So if you're looking for some really fun romance books that are YA and have great representation, I highly recommend any book by Sandhya Menon. I just absolutely love her stuff. So the last book I have to recommend is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This one is an adult contemporary that follows a small town suburbia called Shaker Heights. It's very conformist, and this one basically follows a court case that kind of splits the town in half in terms of opinion. And the court case is basically following a Chinese mother who left her baby at the fire station, and once she got into a bitter situation, she's fighting to get the baby back from the family that adopted the baby. Overall, I really enjoyed this one, and I really liked how Celeste Ng put a microscope on classism and racism, and she talks a lot about conformity and non-conformity. So I really enjoyed this one. Definitely check out Celeste Ng's stuff. I can't wait to read more from her. So yeah. So I think that concludes my Asian and Pacific American Heritage Month book recommendations video. Definitely, if you guys have some more recommendations, leave them down below. I'm super interested to read more Asian stories and Pacific American stories, especially Pacific American, because I feel like I haven't read a lot of Pacific American stories. So if you know of any, please comment them down below. I'm always eager to hear them. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss a single upload. And definitely keep an eye out for my April TBR. I don't know if I'm going to be posting this one first or my April TBR, but there I'll be talking about my Asian readathon TBR. So yeah, thanks for watching, and